Welcome back to We Don't Color on the Dog. It's Monday. We've got with us Sheriff Chip Simmons. Chip, thank you for coming on today.
How are you doing, Rick?
Doing well. It's a slow Monday, which I'll take. But like we say, it never stays slow long.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a Monday. We get the weekend to recover and to cover, I guess. So, but it's not too bad today.
Last week news came out that y'all finally have reached a final agreement on adding more cameras to Pensacola Beach. No, this is, gosh, I was going back and looking at my notes. We're right at about the 2 year point where you first announced the real time crime center. It took about 6 months to get it up and really going. So it's a year and a half into this, but the beach is important, isn't it?
Well, it's important. We obviously want to put our best foot forward with something like Pensacola Beach. I think the unique part about Pensacola Beach is that there's two ways in and out, right? You can come from town or you can come in from Navarre, and it's kind of like the perfect opportunity for us to really to install the cameras and make sure that we understand what who's there and if something were to happen, fully investigate it. And obviously we want to act as a deterrent. We're not trying to keep these cameras secret. We're trying to let everyone know that this is a place where you can come and you can have fun. You can bring your family, you can visit, but it's not a place where you can screw around and destroy our beautiful beach.
Well, and you're also in a position where, there at times if there are one or two officers and they're involved in something on the beach, let's say there's some investigation happening, they're tied up. So you need the cameras to give you more eyes on what's going on.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned it. It's been about 2 years since we put the real time crime center up. Obviously, it's been in the works for a little longer than that, but it's a process. We have to make sure that we have the manpower to facilitate the real time crime center, the location, and then just the core, the software, and the desks, and everything that we need, the screens that we need. You've been there. You see what a big operation that it can be. So about a year and a half ago or so, we thought, you know what, let's get some of these cameras up at Pensacola Beach. And we approached the Island Authority, Commissioner Bender at the time, and we were able to get cameras on the boardwalk area, but really on what I call the wooden area, the area of where the stores are, where the restaurants are. So what we're doing now is what you're talking about is phase two of the boardwalk cameras. And as I looked at it, it's 7 more cameras, sites, multi-cameras, but it's 7 sites, and most of them are in the parking lot itself. Let me just take you back a couple days ago, about a week or so ago, we had a shooting incident take place in that area, on the area of the boardwalk. And we looked at some of the cameras we had, but we really didn't catch the parking lot itself because it's always been a two-phase project for us because these things are not cheap, certainly when you integrate them into our real-time crime center. So this entire thing is phase two of the boardwalk cameras, which is 7 cameras predominantly in the parking lot. And then the other area is the Casino Beach parking lot. We're going to have 7 more cameras in that large area, that large parking lot. Same area that we park our mobile videos out there for like the Blue Angels. And we may still need to do that. We may still want to do that, let me put it that way. But this is going to have give us a lot of coverage in the beach, the core area that I call it. So again, to your point, this is something that we have the capability to do now. We have the capacity to do now, and it's just going to be something that's, again, the thought there is that act as a deterrent and make the beach even safer than it already is.
A little bit about how the real time crime center is organized. I mean, you've got about how many people do you have working there, and how's it set up?
Well, there's 2 things there. One is the analysts that we moved in from. We have some data analysts that we had working elsewhere. We moved them down into the real time crime center. They can still do their data analyst job, but they can also look at the screens. They can also do a lot of follow up on. They'll look at the reports overnight because we're not able to staff it 24 hours a day right now. So there's a period of time, a couple hours early in the morning, where it's not staffed. But what they'll do is they'll look at the reports that we have, and they'll look and see if there's any cameras that would have captured something. The cameras that we already have that's feeding directly into our center. But they'll also look at all the cameras that are registered from homeowners that say, I have a camera, and if you let me know when and if something takes place, I'll look at my cameras and I'll send you the video that I may have. So then they geofence those particular areas. So a lot of things take place. That's the analysts. We also have moved our missing persons investigators into the real time area outside of that glass window there, and so that's going to allow us to bring the supervisors, the lieutenant, and the sergeants there as well, but also investigators that can walk over there and can help them whenever a big incident takes place. Just give that investigative intuition that an investigator would normally have. And it helps us with, it could conceivably help us with some of the missing persons cases that we have. If there's a vehicle involved, we can put that vehicle into our license plate readers, or we can put, if someone said they were last with this person at this store, we can look and, first of all, contact the store. And secondly, we can look and see if we have some video of that particular type of a car going in that area and see if something suspicious is taking place.
How does it interact with dispatch?
Well, there's a couple of dispatch consoles there in the real-time crime center, so they can dispatch themselves, or that they can make contact with a dispatch. So basically, what to do is we're monitoring dispatchers, the dispatch calls. Like right now, where I'm in my office, they've got the radio going on down there, not just in the real-time crime center where the analysts sit, but also where the missing persons are. You can go in there and you can listen to the radio blaring on two of our main channels, at least two of our main channels, so that if they hear an armed robbery take place, then everyone can start looking up on the board, and they can start putting some information out there on as to what they may be a description of. There might be, if there's a license plate, obviously we'll put that tag into the tag reader. I talked a little bit about one of these jugging instances that we've had a couple weeks ago, where we got a car vehicle description. We actually did some investigating and found that one or two of these types of cars passed through a particular area that fit the description. We isolated which tag it was, put that on our system. Because our partnership with our real-time crime center, they caught that individual over in Fort Walton Beach like within an hour. So that's a type of real-time, quite frankly, investigative resource that we have now. And this the entire network that we have. The network reaches throughout the state of Florida, and then obviously over into past Alabama.
Where do you see this going from here? What's the next? Once we get the camera set up on those extra cameras on Pensacola Beach, where do you see this growing? Because I know you're not going to ever settle. You're going to always be looking at what the next phase is.
Well, we built this real-time crime center with the idea that we would expand, that we would have more cameras and we would have more even within the facility itself, the room itself. The one wall is blank intentionally because the thought was we were going to put more screens up there in that wall. We have the capacity to expand about 4 or 5 more analysts. As you know, we have 2 from the Pensacola Police Department. We're looking at some from other agencies as well. I don't know that I want to mention them yet, but there's some other agencies that might want to come in here with us. So where do we go from here? We're going to continue to build our network of residential cameras that people want to register with us. I know we've recently gone from 600 registered cameras to well over 1,300 cameras. So we've doubled our capacity just in the last month, because we did a press release in a social media post about what we need from people, or asking from people. The BAR did a story about the real-time crime center, so that made us double it just in a short period of time. So the first thing we'll do is continue to add to that registry. The second thing is continue to have the cameras. I think that license plate readers are good, but I really love having the cameras that are AI type. So we can plug in there that we're looking for white pickup trucks that cross through this intersection within a certain period of time. Remember, these are only public areas. They're on public roadways where there's not an expectation of privacy. All right, so that's obviously important to know. So the more we constantly look at the road maps of Escambia County. We constantly look at the heat maps of where the crimes are taking place in Escambia County, and we're looking at, if you were a criminal and you were doing this crime at this location, what's your exit strategy? Would you go north on 29? Would you go east or west on Bayou Boulevard? And we try to make sure that we have a series of cameras that might catch them no matter which way they go. We know that it's working because we hear people talking about don't get caught on the cameras. We know that some of our strategies are working because it's out there in the community, in the wild, as we say. So that there are people that are bad guys, criminals, drug dealers are talking about it. And even with the same thing with stolen cars, there are people talking about being pitted. So they're trying to get out of the car quickly as they can and try to run on foot, because quite frankly, that's their best chance. You stay in the car too long, we're going to get enough people out there when we crash you, we're going to chase you down. But regarding the real-time crime center, we were kind of late starting it, in my opinion. We were from an agency size standpoint, we probably should have been doing this for years, and then we would be even better than we are now. But I can't help but say thank you to the Board of County Commissioners. Commissioner Hoffberger's pushing this one forward. Commissioner Bender pushed the last one forward. Commissioner May, we got a lot of cameras in the Montclair area, and we've already solved some crimes with those cameras in the Montclair. And I voiced that to Commissioner May, how much I appreciate the partnership. It's not just a 3-year budget deal. It's more about the partnership and doing what it takes to make Escambia County the safest they can possibly be.
Well, and we know the size, land mass of our county is huge. You keep adding deputies to the street, but this just expands your capability to be able to use them wisely, to use those resources wisely.
Well, I tell people all the time, why can't we have it all? Why can't we have enough deputies to answer the 911 calls? Why can't we have the technology and make use of the technology that's available to us, quite frankly, and make it the best that we possibly can? It's that intersection of manpower, because we're always going to need deputies to respond to 911 calls. We're always going to need someone to chase down a bad guy, to jump a fence, to pit a car. We're going to need that. But man, let's not ignore technology. Let's get our deputies out there in the streets, whether it is allowing them to do their paperwork faster and getting back on the street, or certainly whether it is making use of what's already going to be there. Everyone I know has or is about to get some sort of cameras at their home. And I think that's important to latch a hold of that and say, hey, we're here, we're gonna ride with you. If you got the cameras and you want to let us know, then please do that. In the meantime, if you're on our roadway or if you're going to Walmart or wherever, there's a very good chance your car is going to be on video somewhere. So don't be dumb enough to commit a crime. And again, it's that deterrent effect that we're going to have a system of cameras that will likely catch you if you do something terrible. It's why we don't have as many bank robberies as we used to back 40 years ago. They started putting die packs in money, and now all the surveillance cameras that they've got in banks. And now we got all these license plate readers and different cameras. I think that we continue to evolve. There's a reason that they were able to catch the Boston bomber with a crock pot, the individual, because they were able to isolate through cameras an individual that had a backpack that didn't look like he fit in, and he fit that description. They were able to catch him rather quickly. And that was years ago. So I'm sure that the camera systems in Boston and New York and LA are much better, more sophisticated than they were then. And this is still new to us, but I'm very excited about where we're going to go with regards to capacity, whether it is, as you mentioned, we start in a couple of days, we start 8 more deputies on the street. At least we hire them. And then we work on getting them on the street. And as a resident of Escambia County, lifelong resident of Escambia County, I want to know that we're prepared for the future. I want to know that if Escambia County can get 1,000 citizens, and let's make sure that we can accommodate that from a call volume in regards to law enforcement. So I told our cadets and our new recruits, we've never been as capable as we are today. And we're not as capable as we're going to be tomorrow. It's pretty simple when you think about it, but it's a commitment. And it's as well as a partnership.
For sure. Chip, thank you so much for coming on.
You bet. Y'all take care.
All right, take care.
Thanks for watching. And to keep up with what's going on, be sure and subscribe. Just click on the little dog to the right and click the subscribe button. You can also like this video and click on the bell, which will notify you of new content. This really helps the channel grow. We appreciate you.